We have some offices that are posting once a week right now, but the quality of the content is what matters. And so what the algorithms are looking at now is, say you're posting 5 days a week, but you're getting very little engagement. The math behind that tells the algorithm, like, we're going to deprioritize this content because, yeah, they're posting a lot, but nobody is engaging with it. The content that in the pages that get prioritized more in the algorithm are those pieces of content that
AI isn't just changing dentistry, it's completely redefining it. Tune into Bite-sized Podcast, the dental AI and tech podcast, and stay ahead of the curve.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Bite-sized Podcast. Brought Jordan Nelson on from Social Dental Now. Now, you guys may have thought that social media marketing is kind of like old, lame marketing, but you're wrong. Nowadays, you got to be posting on social media. And we're going to be talking about why it's so incredibly important to get, if you decided to do it in the past and you kind of like slowed down or you can't stay consistent, we're going to talk about why you absolutely have to be publishing on social media. So, Jordan, welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, Adrian, I appreciate you having me on. So a little bit about me and my background. So I started in the ed tech space actually with a company called Higher Learning Technologies. Little did I know that would lead to me getting introduced to two of my partners now, Dr. Jeffrey Skinner and Todd Furson at that ed tech company. And what we did is built apps for
these are dentists. These are dentists.
So one of our lanes was dental.
Okay.
Dental boards part 1 and 2 were two of our apps in the dental space. Dr. Skinner actually wrote the content for all of those apps while he was in dental school.
Got it.
And then he moved out to Oregon, started his own practice. He's now a single provider practice out in Oregon. We helped him scale. Some of his friends needed help, so we started helping them. And we were like, hey, why don't we just run with this? Because there's a need in the market for it, for everything we're doing, transparency, all of that stuff. I brought my social media expertise. Todd brought his business expertise. Obviously, Dr. Skinner brings his clinical expertise to it.
So that's a good team, dude.
We have the perfect storm here to help a lot of people in this industry.
That's a great team. So do you guys just do social media or do you kind of do all digital marketing?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we do everything across the board except host and maintain websites. We have some great partners that we work with for that. Well, they also only work in the dental space, as do we. But we do everything from social media, SEO, paid ads, content writing, whole team training. So we have a really holistic approach to what we do. And we can also fit in a lot of different lanes as well, depending on what practices need. Some marketing companies, they only have one package that you have to do it all. We can fit into a lot of different lanes depending on what the practice needs.
Gotcha. So when we started our company, My Social Practice, we called it My Social Practice because we kicked off a social media product. It was one of our first products. And we've been known kind of as a social media marketing company. Even now, today, after 15 years, people think that's all we do because our name, right? So yours is Social Dental Now. I think you're going to get stuck in the same problem, man. People are going to think you just do social media.
Yeah. And that's actually because at that ed tech company, we scaled that majority on social media. We were reaching a lot of people organically with content across all of the different niches, whether it was dental, whether it was nursing. That's how we got a lot of traction in that company. So when we went to the dental side, how we helped Dr. Skinner scale as well was through social media. So that's how Social Dental Now was born as well. So,
you know, when I first met you and I saw the name of your company, Social Dental Now, I was like, this guy must have been working with Social Dental, which is a company that went bankrupt in the dental industry. They came and went, but it was called Social Dental, and then they changed their name to Banyan, but they were known as Social Dental. Did you come up with the name based on did you just come up with it or did you know about that other company?
I didn't know about that company until you just told me about that.
Oh,
So we
really?
actually came up with this when we started the company, actually. Yep.
All right, cool. All right. Well, I guess Social Dental, the name is kind of a catchy name, you know.
Yeah.
Two people thought of it. So
Right.
all right, let's talk about social media for a second, or to dig into the meat of this. So,
Yeah.
because we've been doing social media for like 15 years, and kind of the trajectory of this has been when we first started having practices do social media. It was really about just posting photos and stuff, just to kind of like let your community know that you're around, and it was hard to track, and it was hard to like create an ROI. Okay. It's difficult if you're not running ads. It's difficult to post a photo or lots of photos, right? And then know how many patients you generate from that. So it was really a social proof statement, but that's changed. Would you agree? That's changed
Absolutely.
now? I mean, it's
100% that has changed, especially
okay. So,
within, I would say, the last 1 to 2 years heavily has changed.
okay. What's the change? What's happened?
Yeah. So the biggest change that I'm seeing is the content that you are posting on social media. It's not just social media, SEO, and everything in separate silos now. It is all now omni-channel. And what I mean by that is it is all connected. So you hear everyone talking about the AI search, the AI systems, all of that stuff. It's got 1,000 different names at this point. Um, those AI systems are looking at content across social media. Google is scraping content from social media. And what these systems are trying to do is find out who it, based on what the person is searching for, because search is evolving as well. It's not necessarily just short keyword searches. Now, when people go search in AI, it's like, hey, my left side of my mouth hurts really bad. I think I need an emergency dentist. Who is the best emergency dentist in my area? Really, really long tail
Yeah.
searches are happening. And so that makes the content that you put on social media that much more important. And what I mean by that is the content that you put on social media should be answering your potential patients' questions. The
Okay.
disconnect that I'm seeing here, for a lot of practices is they are posting for themselves and
Okay.
not for their potential patients. And what I mean by that is you see the posts, like, we're excited to welcome Dr. Smith. Those are awesome. Those are great team building posts. Those are
All
great
right.
getting out in the community, but that's the majority of their posts. Or it's some stock images like we offer Invisalign or we do implants. The
Okay.
content doesn't have to do with answering your potential patients questions, what they're typing into these AI systems, what they're truly feeling, like digging into their actual feelings and experiences and answering those questions to where they can relate and be like, that's me. That's the shift that is most important.
But why is that so important? So you're shifting from you're wanting to answer questions. So wait, you're saying that basically social media is now a search engine optimization tactic. That's basically what you're saying.
A
In
hundred
a
percent.
sense.
A hundred
Okay.
percent. And how that plays into the whole ecosystem is these systems are going out and scraping all this information from the internet, and they're looking at what are people watching, what are people engaging with, and they're connecting that to, okay, what's this practice's website, what's this practice's GBP look like, all of your other assets too, to build, to really evaluate what your authority around that question is in your area.
Okay. So how did it used to be? So you're saying there's been a shift in the last year to 2 years where the search engines are looking at more information. What did it used to be before this? Where were they grabbing the data from to help you
So
rank
that's a
in
great
Google?
question. So how it used to be is when these platforms first came on in like back in 2014, when I was at that ed tech company, we could post organically and we could reach millions of people organically.
Just by without running ads or something like that. Just
Exactly.
post it and it gets
We still
okay.
ran obviously lead campaigns and stuff. But as far as like posting organically on the page, that could still reach like millions of people because
Right.
this is the difference. The platforms needed content back then. They
Right.
needed the content for the people to stay on the platforms. Now, especially with AI coming on board, content can be produced so much quicker. And there's
There's too much
so
content.
much content out there to be filtered through that quality and the depth of your content. And what I mean by depth is like the content, like what are you talking about? What issue are you addressing? What's the information that you're pulling behind it? Is it
Right.
getting engagement? All of those things turn into what we call signals. And
Okay.
these systems are filtering through all those signals to come up with the best content for what that person is looking for.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that go into that, but that's the fundamental difference is the systems needed content back then, and now they are overloaded with content.
Okay. Okay. So there's plenty of content. Got it. So if there's plenty of content, then why are you saying that you need to post more? Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. So
so I
I
don't
wouldn't
get it.
necessarily say you need to be posting more. What you need to be focused on is the quality of the
Okay.
and like we have some offices that are posting once a week right now. But the quality of the content is what matters. So what the algorithms are looking at now is it say you're posting five days a week, but you're getting very, very little engagement.
Engagement. Yeah.
The math behind that tells the algorithm like we're going to deprioritize this content because yeah, they're posting a lot, but nobody is engaging with it. Nobody's watching it. Nobody's liking it. Nobody's
Okay.
sharing it. There's no signals behind this content, so it must not be important to others. So we're going to deprioritize it. The content that in the pages that get prioritized more in the algorithm are those pieces of content that people are watching, people are sharing, people are commenting on, people are
Okay.
showing their mom and being like, "Have you seen this?" Or showing their spouse, like, have you seen this?" Like that's the quality content that is moving up in the ranks with the algorithm with the social algorithms and being distributed a lot more. So it's
Do
not
you have to?
necessarily a quantity game; it's a quality game.
All right. So let's say that you have a dentist and they're posting once a week or whatever, and it's good content. Do you add an advertising campaign to it just to push it out a little further?
Yeah. So how that works is it kind of compounds on itself. And some offices don't want to invest a lot in social media, but what I tell them is even if you're running $5 a day behind your campaigns, how that compounds is if it's a great piece of quality content that people are going to engage with organically, and
Yeah.
you're putting a campaign behind that to amplify that to new eyes in your area, and staying in front of eyes that have already seen your stuff because people may not need your service now, but when they do, you want to be top of mind. Or when their friend does or their family member does, you want to be top of mind. And back to how that compounds is when you put that campaign behind it and that content is amplified and more people start engaging with it because it is now amplified, that also increases the organic signals as well and tells the algorithm like people are actually engaging with this. So not only will you get your paid bump on it, you'll also get an organic bump on that content as well.
So if the content's meh, let's say,
Yeah.
right? If your content's meh and you put an ad campaign behind it, that doesn't necessarily do any justice because you're really looking for user generated content. You're looking for mentions, comments,
Yep.
interaction. So if the content primarily is interesting,
Yeah.
right? And then you put an ad campaign behind it, then you get more user generated content. Why is the user generated content? So when I say user generated content, I'm talking like a mention, a comment, a share, a like. Why is that so important for? Because back in the day, it was important because when you got engagement, it was shared with the friends or the connections or a percentage of the friends and connections of those people. So your content posted, Julie comments on it, and Facebook says, oh, Julie likes this content. Maybe her friends will like it. And so it would share it, right? That's how it was done years and years and years ago. Okay. But right now, I don't think that's what you're saying. I think what you're saying is that the interaction or the engagement with the content influences search.
Yes,
Is that correct?
100%. And it not only influences search, but it also influences trust. And
Okay.
what I tell people is social media isn't necessarily your front door to your office, but it's the reason that someone walks through your front door with their mind already made up because
Right.
they've seen your content, you've gained their trust through your content, through the things you're talking about. Um, and through that, like, that's the biggest thing is like it is a huge trust signal, and that's exactly how it influences SEO as well, because these systems are pulling all this content, and if people are engaging with a piece of content that has a ton of information on it, and it's connected to this brand, that's a trust signal or social signal, for those systems to say, oh, people trust this piece of content on social media.
Right.
It's connected to this brand. They are an authority on the thing that this person is looking for. Let's show their content at the top of the
Okay.
page.
I think we probably need to make one clarification. We keep saying the word search,
Yeah.
and we know what it means.
Yep.
Okay. Can you just explain very clearly what is when we say search, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so that's a really, really good point. So most of the time when people hear search, they think Google, right?
Mhm.
Search can be that can be AI, that can be YouTube, that can be um, also Google, Bing, all these. So all of them intertwined together is search essentially. And
Okay, so
now
it's
social
go ahead.
media
Sorry.
is a search engine itself.
Okay,
Um,
I think that's health. That's the best way to explain it.
yes.
Search is the mechanism. It's the process of somebody trying to find something on the internet, and
Yep.
it doesn't matter if it's Google or whatever. But the shift is that social media is now being indexed by the search engines. And so, and people use like, I think I read an article that like 40% of kids under 25 use TikTok as their search engine.
Yeah.
Like they're using social media as a search engine just in
Yep.
and of itself.
And it's very
But
similar
Google,
to, like, AI systems too. It is the very long tail searches, right?
right, exactly.
So they're searching for and when I say long tail, I mean a lot of words in a sentence. They're putting their whole statement that they're searching for in the search bar, essentially.
Right, right. So it's
Yeah.
like, hey, ChatGPT, I've got, oh my gosh, my freaking jaw's hurting like hell. I think my brain's gonna blow up. I think I need to go see a dentist and I don't have insurance. I need to find somebody that's open on Saturdays. That's the freaking search phrase,
Literally.
right?
Yep.
Rather than best dentist in blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So, so the context, the search phrases are a lot longer. Okay,
Yep.
so search, just to kind of put a bow on that, is that social media systems, Facebook, Instagram, big one, TikTok, I think is being indexed as well. Um, YouTube, definitely big, big time. Then you got LinkedIn and Pinterest and some of the other stuff, but I think those four are the big ones:
I
Facebook,
actually heard
Instagram.
something recently that YouTube has taken the top spot over Reddit results in AI
Wow,
searches now.
really?
Yep.
That's big.
That's really,
That's
really
really big because Reddit has been over the past years I've watched. Reddit has been a big part of the algorithm. I think especially in ChatGPT
yeah.
or maybe it was Gemini. I can't
And
remember
I
which
think
one.
that signals something even bigger, that the not only the social signals as an important factor in you showing up, but short form video and video content as an even more important factor in you
Okay.
as well.
All right. I want to go back to this. I want to like dig in on this concept of like trustworthiness and so forth. So the idea that Google and ChatGPT and any of the others, Bing, Yahoo, whatever, all of them, all the search engines are now indexing social media. Um, why? Like, what is the value? What is that providing to the end user? If I am the person searching for whatever it might be, a dentist, right? Why is it that Google would want to index Instagram in order to help me? Why can't they just look at the websites like they've always done and read blog posts and then just give me a link, like the 10 blue links that they usually give? What value is it bringing to the search process to index social media?
Trust. And that's the biggest thing and Google is in all these search engines are in the business to get you the most trusted result for what
Okay.
you're looking at. That's been the case for forever now. And because they want people to continue to use their search platform. So if they're not serving up the most trusted result and people have a bad experience with what they find, they're
They
not going
won't
to
use
use
it.
that platform anymore. So they are in the business to find the most trusted result based on what you may be searching. And as we talked about, the length of the searches are now evolving dramatically.
Well, do you mind if I jump in really
Yeah,
quick?
yeah.
There's a very clear like example of this, okay? Of this transition of trying to provide the best result to the consumer or to the patient, okay? So when ChatGPT launched in November of 2022?
Yeah.
Been like 3 years, I think. People quickly started using it as a search engine. It hallucinated a lot, but they cleaned that stuff up, and so it hardly hallucinates anymore. But ChatGPT, in the research papers that I've looked at, has picked up about 10 to maybe 15% of all the search traffic. So I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a significant amount.
Yeah.
And why is that? Okay. I'm asking myself that question, not you. Why is that? The reason is the result that you get from ChatGPT is a better result, right?
Yep.
Rather than getting a bunch of links that you have to click on and go do the research, you get something that's recommended, right?
Yeah.
And so I think naturally what we're experiencing is that as we start using AI as a search tool, we realize very quickly that the more information that we put in our query, the better the result gets. And so it's naturally driving us to put longer queries in, right? Like that one I just gave the example of the pain in the mouth, right?
Yeah.
The more information that I give AI, the more context the AI has, and the algorithm behind the AI is built in a fashion to want more content, right? So as Google watched a significant portion of their search traffic go to ChatGPT, they're like, oh shit, maybe they've got a better search mechanism, right?
Yep.
So they launched Get Gemini, right?
Yep.
So I think that illustrates very clearly what's happening here is that we trust the recommendations from an AI over a traditional search function. And that trust is a big deal because the data is showing that people that get recommendations in Gemini or ChatGPT have like a 4 to 8 times higher conversion. That was a report from a retail sales report. It's significantly higher, like astronomically higher. So anyway, to
Oh,
piggyback
100%.
on your idea of producing a result that's trustworthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I totally agree with everything you touched on there. And like you said, the big thing is trust. And when it comes, and the difference between, like you said, the result that you get on ChatGPT, well, now Claude, now Gemini, all of those versus Bing search, Google search where it's just like links and static text and stuff like that.
Right.
It is a very personalized response. And it
Right.
feels like someone is literally talking back to you in a very personalized way, recommending these things
Right.
as well. So
Right.
not, I think it comes down also to the reason these platforms have such a high conversion rate is the format of the response to the person. It is very
Right.
personalized and it's talking to the person, not at the person. Right. So
Right.
like Google search, Bing search really feels like it is
It's
talking,
disconnected.
right? It's
It's
talking at you.
disconnected.
It's like, boom, here's this, they do this, here's this, they do this. Where ChatGPT is talking to you, where it's like, oh, hey, John, you're looking for this. I recommend this because of this, because of this. These people do really good in Invisalign. Here's all the results. Here's the questions you should ask them. The format of the response feels way more personal
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in these AI systems.
Yeah. It's just a very, maybe I'm in it's just a psychological effect. It's that when a computer acts like a human, we just naturally feel more comfortable with it, which is
Yes.
kind of weird, right? But
Yeah.
we just like to be talked to like we're talking to a human,
Yes, and
and
that's
that just naturally
exactly what
creates
I
trust.
touched on with social media too, and the content that you're, especially short form video that you're creating, it does not need to be polished. They want human. They want
Yeah.
error in it. They don't want perfection. They feel more comfortable when it actually sounds like it is not polished, right? In that you're
Right.
talking to them and not at them. You're not telling them, "Oh, yeah, we have Invisalign and you can get it for this much a month." Like, no, you're addressing their actual pain points. Like, you may be having this issue with your teeth. Do you not like the gap in the front of your tooth? That's totally normal. Here's how we can help you. Or most people don't go to the dentist because of fear and anxiety. That is totally normal. Don't feel like you're an outlier. Here's what we provide to help you with that and how we can help. Come see us. You know, like the
All right.
format of how you're talking and how you're presenting your content matters with trust as well.
So there's you're talking about like a content philosophy, a theme. So how do you ride this line? Okay, so social media is about entertainment. It's just about entertainment. If you so there's this really difficult process where if you're talking to your doctor client, you're like create this content, and it's too educational, even if it's. I mean, how do you do it? Because if it's educational, people just scroll; they don't even look at it. It has to be fun and interesting, but then the doctor's like, well, I don't want to be fun and interesting. I want to be educational. So how do you ride that line? Because you're not going to get the engagement by just posting like, here's what we do and here's how we solve problems. I mean, people are just not, I don't know if you get the engagement that you want. So how do you, where do you ride that line at?
Yeah, and we actually ran into that problem a while ago. We came up with a really 4-step system to creating these. So we give them like the outline of how to create like effective short form video, and you can still be educational,
Mhm.
but there's a little bit of a science behind being also effective on the platforms. And what it comes down to is like there is so much content being consumed every single day. When you're laying in bed doom scrolling, like you don't even realize how many pieces of content you're going by or stopping on or watching.
All right.
And you're not even thinking about like why are you stopping on that content? Because some of the content that I stop on, I'm looking at it and then I realize like, why am I watching this? Like, what is
Right.
this? Like, but the things that have been effective is within that you have about 1.5 to 2 seconds to catch someone's attention right now on social
Right.
media. The first thing we focus on is what's called a hook. And that can be a number of different things. That can be like a flash of the screen. That can be a phrase that you say. That can be like you doing something in the video, like a movement in the video. There's all kinds of different visual and audio hooks.
Just to
But
slow the stop the scroll. Stop
exactly,
the scroll.
stop
Yeah.
stop the scroll. And the most effective ones have been addressing either like a myth or a common pain point. You need that pattern interruption right away in the video. Um, and then you go into empathizing with them. So addressing their pain point and letting them know, like, we understand your pain point. It is totally normal. You are a human being, like being really empathetic towards them, then going into how you can help with that problem. And then at the end of the video, the most effective thing has not been people saying, "Oh, book an appointment with us." It's called a soft call to action. So it's like, "Hey, let's talk."
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
as simple as that, that feels
Yeah.
really natural in the video. And that whole sequence builds tremendous trust and makes your content really a quality piece of content that people watch all the way through. Cause that's what these platforms are looking for too, is like, how long are people watching your content? Not only do they share it, do they comment, whatever, how long are they watching it? And are they watching it again? Because those are huge trust signals to these systems as well.
I think you touched on a concept called, practice centered content versus patient centered content. Right. So, can you give me an example, like a headline, like let's say you're going to produce a piece of content. I'm putting you on the spot here, so I'm hoping you can come up with something. But a piece of content that would be practice centered, just give me the caption, and patient centered, give me the caption. Can you come up with
Yes.
something?
Yeah. So practice centered um, could be something around the experience of the office. So uh, something around comfort, right?
Okay.
We're not just a normal dental office.
We offer pain free dentistry,
Exactly.
practice centered. Okay.
Exactly. Patient centered. Do you fear going to the dentist?
Yeah.
Are you scared to go
Okay.
to the dentist?
Right.
Same talking points, practice versus patient centered.
Okay.
Yep.
So you put yourself in the shoes of the patient and try and frame as much of the content as if you're speaking from the patient's perspective. So you could even, going back to something you said earlier, where you're asking questions in the first person of the patient. I don't know if we said first person, but that's what we'd be like.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
Right. I hear a lot of patients say that.
Yeah.
So you actually use the words in your content that the patient would type into ChatGPT. I'm afraid to go to the dentist,
Literally.
right?
Yep.
Which is super weird. I think that's hard for people to understand that you're shifting from, what was it, second or third person to first person,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Like when we write copy, we're doing this in our copy, right? When you write copy and you write an article, you actually put questions in the article from the patient's voice.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to go to the dentist. That's the question, right? Or that's the statement, right? But it could be a question, right? And then you answer it,
Yep.
right? You put the question in as you're actually asking, like you're typing into ChatGPT.
Exactly.
That creates a connection between the search phrases in AI and your content, right?
Yep.
And you're saying to do that in social media as well.
Yep. 100%. 100%. And what I tell a lot of these offices is your best content comes right after you get done with a consult or a case or even just a cleaning. Like, if there was a common question that came out of that, or you had a really in-depth conversation or a really heated conversation or whatever it may be, that's where some of your best content comes from, because that is in the moment. You just got done talking about it, and that's where those really, really, really good topics and hooks can come from. And it does not even have to be long. It can be one question, one take, 1 minute. Literally just pull out your phone and do it in one take. Takes 60 seconds and boom. Like it could be
Yeah,
one of your best performing pieces of content that month.
that's cool. All right. So a doctor that's listening, they're like, okay, I want to start. I don't want to hire somebody yet. I don't want to hire Jordan or Adrian to help us with social media. I just want to get going, right? I just want to do something. I got a person on my team, a gal or a guy that knows how to use TikTok or Instagram, and they know how to edit and stuff. I'm going to tell them to start posting. What would be like a good strategy in order to start create a cadence? Like how would you tell them like do this and do it every time, or like what would you tell them to do to create a system?
Yeah. So I mean the first step that I tell them is you have to get the content created. Because whether you're posting consistently but quality, the consistency of your quality matters. So what I tell offices is don't allocate filming every single day. Pick out one day every week, every 2 weeks, pick out 30 minutes to an hour where you sit down and you can knock out a bunch of this stuff and start and like when you come out and just be constantly thinking about like when you're coming out of cases or consults, if there's common questions, people coming in the front door and talking to your front door staff, is there common questions
Mhm.
that are coming up? Those are the best pieces of content. Even if you just like write those things down on um, a notepad, just be conscious of the common questions coming into your practice and the common things coming up, because that can all be turned into content. And then on that one day every week or 2 weeks, just knock a bunch of pieces of content out. That's the first step that I tell people. And when you're making that content, the 4-step plan to that would be the hook, the empathy, the substance, and then the soft call to action. Four steps to creating really solid short form videos. And like I said, they don't have to be 2-3 minutes long. They can be 30 to 60 seconds.
Love it. Like an idea, an actionable idea. So, and anybody can kind of come up with any idea, but you could come up with a theme um, for your practice. You could call it answering patient questions. That's the theme. And you're going to do one video a week, whatever. Okay. And so the hook is the question. So you pull your phone out, turn the camera around, show your face, and you say, I hate coming to the dentist. I had a patient ask me that or tell me that today. And then you answer the concern, you turn your camera off, and you post it. And then you do that again next week with another comment or question.
Yep.
You start with the hook. It's the question of the patient. Should I get veneers? Let me tell you, okay? And you just answer the question like that. It's almost that simple,
It
right?
is that simple. It is
It's
that.
just that simple.
Yep. Because
So,
they want
but
to
you just
hear,
have to
and
do it.
they want to hear that coming from the expert. That's why they go to you for their dental care, because you are the expert. But they
Right.
don't want to be talked at.
Right.
They want to feel like you understand what's going on in their head, in the thoughts that are going on in their head. That's what they're truly after.
Yeah. It's just the thing with dentistry is like it's so busy. Like everybody is just so damn busy.
Yeah.
And so I think in order to get started, unless you're going to hire somebody to do it for you and guide you, you have to come up with a very simple process. It cannot be complicated. So the one video a week or two videos a week, or, you know, you could come up with a theme, the Freaky Friday, or, Taco Tuesday.
People love
We're going to talk tacos.
Yeah.
We're going to, whatever. We're going to talk on Tuesday. I do a post about tacos,
Yeah.
right? Whatever. It's something that, when Tuesday comes around, you know what you got to do, and you know it's going to take 60 seconds. And if
Mythbuster
you could just
Monday. People love
Mythbuster Monday, perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And it's
Yep.
just, it's concise, it's conceptual, it makes sense, it's easy to execute.
And people
So,
love that content. Like people,
oh, it's
love
fun.
it,
It's so
especially with
fun.
the amount of content on social media these
Yeah.
days, where it is, some of it is wild, and there's
Yeah.
a ton of it. Like you can go to TikTok and search different things that people are
You
talking
just
about.
come up with
You can
ideas.
debunk it. You don't even. You can debunk the video.
Yeah, exactly. You could go find, dude, I've seen so many TikTok channels where they find bogus, like somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. They're like, they show the video and they go, let me actually like clarify this for you,
Yeah,
and then that's great content. Great
people
content.
love it. Love that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So coming up with a conceptual kind of repeatable idea is the key.
Yep.
Would you not say? Yeah.
Exactly. And one of the
Right.
biggest things, if I had to give someone a head start that is going to be really, really effective, it's been consistently effective for us, is the number one thing that people, even sometimes overpayment and finances, is fear and anxiety about going to the
Mhm.
dentist. I know people that can afford full arch in cash, but they are so scared
Yeah.
to go to the dentist and get their oral health dealt with, and get judged, or they're scared of pain or whatever it may be. That is one of the top things that prevent people from going to the dentist. So
Yeah.
if I had one piece of content that I could give a dental office to start with, or one lane to start with, it would
Pain and
be
anxiety.
fear and anxiety and comfort.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool. I love it. It's a great example. I'm going to put your website in the, if you guys are interested in talking to Jordan, I'll put his website and in the description. And if you give me it's okay to put your email in there. I can put your email,
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
guys can reach out to Jordan. I'm sure you guys have consultations. You'll do an analysis and a consultation,
Yeah,
a complimentary
absolutely. We'll look
consultation,
at
something
your
like that.
stuff. We'll dive into your stuff at no charge. I'm glad to look at it. I love just being a resource in general, even if we don't formally work together. I like just being that resource for these offices too, because as everyone knows, like, dentists are so busy, and the staff are so focused on their patients, which they should be, that they need the people on board that they can, or even just the resources that they can bounce things off of. Like, hey, have you heard about this? Or
Yeah.
hey, what do you think about this? Like, I'm glad to be that resource.
That's awesome. I just remembered that we have a free like weekly idea, TikTok idea or a video idea. It's called the weekly roundup. It's an idea that we curate from what's trending on social media, and we apply it to dentistry. And I'll put the link for that free weekly roundup. So it just comes through. It's like, hey, try this idea, shoot this video. So if
Love
you're
that.
looking for just a cadence of like, what should we do this week? We
Yeah.
kick out this idea every week. And so if anybody's interested in that, I'll put the link in the description.
I absolutely love that. And what along those same lines, what I tell people is, like, if you're looking for ideas, a fast way to do it, just go to TikTok or Instagram and search dentistry and see what is
See what people are
trending.
posting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, Jordan. Thanks, my man. It's been awesome.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you having me on, Adrian. It's been a blast.
Okay, cool. Thanks, dude.
Thanks for listening to Bite Size Podcast. Tune in to stay up to date with everything dental AI and tech